I tell you what I love in pro wrestling, Santino Marella. But I also love it when we're teased with something that would be so awesome and it's taken away from us. I know that sounds weird. Why would I want something good stolen from me? But it's that roller coaster of emotions you go on that reminds you why you love this stuff to begin with. It's even better if that leads to a proper moment down the line, but even if it doesn't, these nuggets of goodness are usually enough to get people talking and make sure you stay invested in the sport of kings. If nothing else, where else can you manufacture that? You should take advantage of it. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 10 awesome WWE nearly moments. Number 10, Bischoff screws Shawn Michaels. Cast your mind back to New Year's Eve 2003. It was a cold, magical night. Maybe, I don't know, it was a long time ago. But it did see Shawn Michaels battle former best friend Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw. It was amidst a long feud between the two, and this just seemed to be another step to prolong it. Then, however, HBK smacked the game in the face with sweet chin music, fell on his opponent's lifeless body and won. The crowd went nuts thinking they'd seen a title change, only for them GM Eric Bischoff to proclaim that Shawn's shoulders were also pinned to the mat and therefore he was not the new champion. Oh, and also, he was fired. It was quite the turnaround. This worked wonderfully though, because we did go to the highest of highs and then get smashed with the lowest of lows. We were ecstatic and then we were mad. It was very well done and superbly pulled off, plus it made the heel more of a bad guy and the face even more lovable. That's a good idea right there. Number 8, Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. Almost the polar opposites of each other. When Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton went at it at the Royal Rumble 2008, the outcome seemed obvious. Orton was the chosen one at this stage and the defending WWE champion, and surely he would deal with the crazy Jeff with ease, even if he had beaten Triple H a month earlier. And then WWE went into storytelling mode. Deciding to light a fire under Hardy, everything was done to make the crowd believe he actually had a chance. Even better, Jeff came perilously close to performing the unthinkable, coming within milliseconds of a victory time and time again. Ultimately, he wasn't successful on this night after an RKO out of nowhere, but the build was perfect. Plus, it did help Jeff Hardy in the long run, made fans get behind him more. Number 8, John Cena robs Rey Mysterio. While John Cena has gotten a lot of needless hate throughout his career, there was the odd occasion where WWE did the man no favours whatsoever, literally putting him in positions where the fans were only going to react one way. The 25th of July 2011 Raw was one of these situations, with a tournament going down to figure out who would be the new WWE Champion after CM Punk walked out after Money in the Bank. It was a really rather nice outcome as someone in the back decided Rey Mysterio should be given the honour. Not only was this a surprise, but as his last run had been the haphazard booking of 2006, this seemed like a good idea. But alas, it wasn't to be. After beating The Miz to win it, our man Cena popped up before Mysterio had barely been able to hold it and challenge the High Flyer for his newfound prize. And guess what? Cena won. And Cena was the new champ, and the audience could not believe it. Number 7, Neville's World Championship match. Ever since Neville has been on the roster, people have warmed to him in some sense, be that because of his high-flying arsenal, or because his bad guy persona is fantastic. He's very good at what he does. In 2015 though, when he was mostly new on the scene, Neville was put in a match against Seth Rollins for the world title and came so close, people actually believed he had won. Hitting his red arrow from the top, Rollins' foot essentially fell on the ropes by accident at the very last second to prevent Neville getting the win. It was so last minute, we all thought the man that gravity forgot had done it, audibly gasping when they realised what had happened. It was one of the best nearly moments in history and actually shifted Neville to the next level. That's how good it was. Number 6, Edge comes up short. When Edge returned surprisingly at the Royal Rumble 2010, it seemed like he was destined to follow that up with a world title win at WrestleMania. A classic WWE story. Being put into a feud with then champion Chris Jericho, who at the time really was a smug so-and-so, all of a sudden things didn't go to plan. Seemingly deciding to swerve us just because why the hell not, it was Jericho that hit the code breaker on Edge at the biggest event of the year and walked away with his title in tow. The rated R superstar got the last laugh as he speared Y2J through a table, but it was so unexpected it hit every fan right in the stomach. Crowning Edge's comeback this way would have been awesome. Instead, dream was dead. Number 5, The Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy. Underlining once again that Jeff Hardy was very good at playing the lovable underdog. The match he had in 2002 on Raw against the bad guy Undertaker to this day stands up as a classic. Falling under ladder rules of all things for the world title, Jeff came so close to winning that fans were at a fever pitch the whole time. Going for a good 20 minutes and featuring some bumps that'll still make you want to cry because they're so brutal, Taker had to fight his way to a win as Jeff wouldn't stay down. This was true afterwards too when Hardy got on the mic and said exactly that. And what did the Phenom do? He came back to the ring and he raised Jeff's hand, elevating him no end in the process. Now that's how you get someone over. Number 4, Shawn versus The Streak. Be it WrestleMania 25 or WrestleMania 26, no one ever thought that Shawn Michaels would be the guy to beat Undertaker's streak, or at least not before each encounter. During it though, forget about it. HBK did such a good job in making people buy in and coming so close to actually doing the unthinkable that every time Taker managed to kick out, it was like being punched across the face. It was impossible to figure out what was coming next. This was never more apparent than in 2010 when after a grueling encounter, Shawn whipped out a super kick from nowhere and came within a whisper of the victory. Fans went nuts at how close it was, and then the realization it wasn't to be was the resounding fallout from it all. And then Michaels was retired for good. It was awesome from a journey point of view, and it made you feel all the things. All of them. Number 3, Triple H versus Booker T. Even in 2017, this remains one of the strangest WWE decisions in history, especially how the match between Triple H and Booker T finished. When we travel back to WrestleMania 19 to witness the game versus the book, the big question has to be why the hell didn't Booker T win? Now we know the answer, of course, but the severe beatdown, both physically and verbally, that Booker had to deal with leading up to the pay-per-view made it seem a certainty he would win, just so he could have his moment. Furthermore, the fans were desperate for it and were ready to embrace him as a new top babyface. Instead, there was no comeuppance for Triple H as he pedigreed Booker and it took about 65 hours to pin him. It was a crushing blow for everyone who wanted to see his WWE coronation. He never got it. Number 2, Austin bleeds. No one ever really talks about it now, which goes to show how good it was. But Stone Cold Steve Austin most definitely lost at WrestleMania 13. He did so, however, in a nearly moment, and it's this which helped propel him to the next level. Austin left everything he had in the ring that night, including a few pints of his own blood, and it was this visual which actually helped him in the long run. He wouldn't give up, he wouldn't submit. The only thing that stopped him ultimately was the human body. He almost beat Bret Hart, and yet he didn't. But it was still so good, and he won all our hearts in the process. If it had gone the other way, it wouldn't have worked. Number 1, Lesnar wins. You don't see Iron Man matches that much anymore, especially not on SmackDown, and yet in 2003, Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar waged war and won. It was incredible. Already down to 1 win apiece after WrestleMania and SummerSlam, the two hammered each other for an hour in a bout that remains must-see. The story they told too was awesome. After Lesnar had run up a big lead, mostly thanks to using weapons, Angle started to make his way back until we were in the final seconds. Seeing his opportunity, Kurt locked on the ankle lock only to be beaten by the clock as Lesnar refused to tap out. It was perfectly booked, it was perfectly timed, and you couldn't help but be devastated for the Olympic gold medalist as he came so close. This was just fantastic, and you should go and watch it now. Know of any other awesome WWE nearly moments? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can then go read more articles like this on WhatCulture.com and follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. I am Simon from What Culture, and I am a nearly moment. Made no sense.